Hello everyone, welcome back to the Help Me Think podcast. I just noticed how I started smiling when I started to say it. I think I mentioned it before that I sometimes don't want to record an episode and I don't really know what to talk about. But then I just need to bring myself to doing it, and then it gets better, and also it keeps me going and just like posting something. And I feel like at some point I might actually come up with a good idea of what to record, like a segment or something that it's more entertaining. But for now we're gonna have to do with this. But I just noticed how my expression just changed when I started to say hi guys. Well, hello everyone. So anyways, today for a change we're not going to be using the Book of Human Emotions. Also, I feel like I have finally something to actually talk about out of my own head. Yesterday I finished my last sociology exam. I've got one more to go. It is crazy. It's just now it feels like it's coming to me, like that's it. School will be finished. I can't really realize it yet that like 14 years of this huge long thing that's called school in like different countries with different people, and that's all been school, and now it's going to be finished literally in less than a week. On Thursday it'll be done. I will have graduated from school. Doesn't matter that I'm not going to the actual graduation. It will be done, and then at some point I'll know my results. But it doesn't matter. I don't have to learn anything anymore for school. I don't have to sit any more exams for school, and that is amazing. And I've been feeling so relieved for, I don't know, last week. Well, not really last week, because this past week I still had 3 exams, but I finished pure maths. It's like basically a part of maths that's done now. There is still one maths exam left, but it's not the same thing. It's supposed to be a bit easier. Math was awful, but it doesn't matter. It's over. I don't have to know anything anymore. I don't have to know anything for pure maths anymore. No one's gonna care how you integrate a sine or a cosine. No one's gonna care what's differentiation of something or what is implicit differentiation. Never am I going to be asked about it again. It actually feels so surreal because it seems like such an important thing. And now when I've been talking to people like recently about their exams and how it's going, and it just seems to like everyone like it's such an important thing, and I get it. I just feel like for the past couple months, like literally, I guess a month and a half, or I think a month and a half to a month, I've really kind of, dissociated from exams and from exams being this important. And I realized that it's not going to matter in, 5 years. I mean, you can be asked, I guess, when you are being taken for a job, but it's really not everywhere that everyone cares about your A-levels. It's really not that serious. Like, I get people who want to get into a certain university and they do need some type of grades because of requirements of the university, but I'm lucky enough to not have that, and I just realized that I don't need to worry about it that much. Like, I do still want to have good grades, and to some extent I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, you've been doing something for the past like a year and a half just to give up now and give up now? Oh, right, sorry. To just give up and not do well on the exams? Like, the 1.5 years of this expensive school, of your like hard work, have led to just you thinking, nah, I want to enjoy my life, I don't want this, I don't care, and just lose good grades. And I thought to myself, like, yeah, I guess, to some extent, yeah, I guess I still want to see good grades, and I will obviously be sad if I don't get them when I see the results in August. But I also realistically understand and realize that when I see grades in August that I'm not going to be like as satisfied with, I will be sad for what? A day? 2 days? Because I'm going to compare myself to my sister, and let's say she does well or she does better than me. Okay, I will feel kind of shitty for a couple of days. I'll also be happy for her at the same time, and then my like sadness and my disappointment with myself will just be replaced with like being happy for her and just living with this reality, like, okay, I don't have all A stars, I have like a ABB, let's say, and it'll be fine with me, and I'll be just like, okay, that was how my life went, you know what I mean? And like, I don't need to live these 2 months, this 1 month. We had 9 exams, like I had 9 exams within almost exactly 1 month, and then before that I also had some time to revise, where I was like, after the Easter break I was more focused on the exams and like on preparing for exams. And I don't know, maybe when I said, I don't really know, I think it was just before the first exam when I really like realized I really don't feel like doing as much as I was expecting myself to do, I guess. And I think at first I was maybe just lazy and I just didn't want to do anything, and it was nice weather and I started to work, and it's not like I had less time really, I guess. Maybe, I don't really know. The past 1.5 months have gone by so quickly, especially last month when the exam started. It's insane. When I looked at like my plans and I looked at the calendar 1 month ago, I was like, oh shit, there's still so much to happen, like it's gonna be so long. But now when I look back, I genuinely don't know when the switch happened in me. I don't think it was even a switch. I think it was just like gradually I was like, oh, okay, it's not that important to me, I guess. It's not my whole personality, and it's not my only goal in life. And even like in now, like, okay, yes, I have invested a lot, but also I'm not going to do terribly. I mean, I'm not going to have done terribly because it's over now, almost. And also, I guess the first psychology exam, because it was quite easy, at least for me, because, I don't know, I was okay prepared, but also I didn't take as much time to prepare, and I was still confident enough, and I am still confident that I will have gotten a good grade for psychology. So I kind of relaxed and I was like, okay, I guess I'm just going to prepare for each exam a couple days before that, which is basically how it was. So I have one exam, then I have like, let's say 3 days, and then the next exam. So I was just studying for each exam just before it, so after one and before the other. And I guess that worked out quite alright. Not as well as it could have, but I don't think it's because I didn't invest enough in these last 2 months. I think I did a lot during these like 1.5 years, so 1 year from when I came here, and like 1 academic year, so until like January, and then there was like a little fall down. And I can actually think maybe it was when I was doing the 75 heart challenge, so more in autumn, I think, or in January, even in February. So I think winter was a bit of a downfall in terms of studying, because I was more focused on the challenge and I just didn't have time for studying. Another example of what the downsides of this challenge are. Again, I could have balanced it all together, but, well, the challenge was more important to me. And that's fine. Like, I'm not saying that I regret doing it, or I regret and I should have studied more and I don't know. I just, in general, I find this expression, or like, I wish I had done this, or I should have done this, just so pointless and so stupid, because I know it's easier said than done, but I think I do a lot of things that you kind of shouldn't be doing as an evolved individual and as like a mentally healthy and, you know, self-actualizing individual or whatever, like overthinking again, or dwelling on some negative things maybe, or I used to do it, but I think I've never truly regretted something. Obviously I had some moments where I was like, oh yeah, that was cringe, maybe I shouldn't have said that, But it was for a second, and that's it. I think this is one of the things that I've never really done in my life, is to think, oh, I regret doing it. Oh, it would have been better to have done this and this. I can't even explain why you shouldn't do it. Like, why this is so smart and why this is such a good strategy, because I don't know. Like, because then you could apply it to everything, and like, there is no way you would have been here if you hadn't done this thing. Yeah, I guess you can say, yeah, but I don't want to be here. Like, I'm not happy now. So maybe if I'd done this other thing, I would have been happier now. And so I guess I should have done it. No, again, I don't know how to explain it. It just seems so obvious, because you can link it to maybe there was always something positive about a situation, or I guess when you come out of this negative space, or like the space where you don't want to be, then afterwards it's gonna be you, how you are. So I just don't understand how people can say, oh yeah, I shouldn't have done it, or I wish I'd done it a different way or something. I guess I understand, yeah, like the thinking and like the logical thinking behind it, or maybe, I don't know, maybe on the opposite, like illogical thinking, like, oh yeah, shit, I feel trash now, or I feel cringy, and I guess it could have been better if I'd done it the other way. But then if you just look at it from a more, I don't know, like zoomed out view, and you just think, oh, I don't know, I don't know why I went into this really, but it just, I think this is one thing that I don't understand when people say, not that people say it often, I guess. I also don't understand it when people say, I hate something. I mean, no, I do understand it. I do understand I say it as well. But, yeah, I think this is just one thing that I will never understand. How you can live with this mindset, oh, I shouldn't have done it, or it would have been better if I'd done it the other way. This is just something incomprehensible to me, because then, like, you just wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be talking to me, let's say, and telling me this, And I guess some people might be happy about it, but I just don't get it. Anyways, that was that. But I was talking about my studying. I'm not sure where I stopped, where I paused, where I changed the topic, but I'm sure I didn't do as well as I was kind of expecting myself to, like half a year ago, because, 2 days before the exam, I knew I wouldn't do wonderful, amazing, but I still think it didn't go as badly as it could have. But it doesn't really matter. That's the thing. Like, I am happy with just, it's done, or almost done. Now it's just one exam left, and it'll be fine. And I'll even prepare for it. I even have some time slots in my calendar to prepare for it. I'll have like about 2 days that are free, but it'll be fine. Promise. It was promised to myself, probably, if I actually do something for it. It doesn't matter. Today's point was actually because I said balance, about like I could have balanced the challenge with studying. The topic of today's episode is balance, I want to say, or also getting to know myself. Like, this is what has been happening in the last, like, I guess 2 months, so maybe a bit less. So when I started to prepare for the exams, for the real exams, I was like, oh, wow, so this is it now, and I really need to put some effort in studying now, and into school, and into preparing. Oh, but it was such a nice weather. And I couldn't, like, I wanted to go outside. And you remember when I talked about getting rollerblades? I think that was about the time where I started to really, where this journey of getting to know myself started, because I thought I was really like learning things about I guess I was learning things about myself already before, but I feel that last month has been just so good in terms of really me getting to know myself, and in discovering this balance that I feel like everyone talks about, but I think, and I was talking about as well, or I was thinking or whatever, and I think that I really saw it from such a different perspective, this balance. So how I used to see it before, so let's say autumn and winter, when I was doing the challenge, it was like the grind time. Last spring as well, but last spring it was a bit of a different vibe as well, but it was also the grind time. And last spring I was also studying a lot because I had to catch up with the stuff that I missed because I came later to the school. So I had to catch up with a lot, and I had to prepare for final mock exams. So yeah, and I was also working, and I was going to the gym, and I was trying to lose weight, so I was also really cautious about what I was eating. And that was also a time where I really took it a bit too far. Not that it was crazy problems from it, but it wasn't healthy and it wasn't really balanced. I was just really hyper fixated on losing weight until a certain point in time, and I think mentally I just put a lot of pressure on myself, and I didn't really do it properly. And I think because I was just so focused on counting calories and doing it all just so strictly so that it actually works, I was mentally just really fixated on it, and that's why it did have an effect, but probably more of a negative one in the long term rather than a positive one. And also, like I said, I was studying a lot, I was working actually quite a lot during the week and going to the gym. And for me, that was wow, I'm balancing so many things, because it was kind of about how many hours I spend in the gym, how many hours I spend working, how many hours I spend learning something or writing notes or whatever, doing flashcards, and how many healthy meals I eat. And then I was also, but I can't be perfect all the time, so I need to balance it with some maybe junk food. So let's say once a week I had an evening where I just ate a tub of Ben & Jerry's, and sometimes it even somehow fit in my calorie counting. I have no idea how I did it, but it was but you need to enjoy yourself as well. So sometimes you need to have days off where you don't study and where you don't eat healthy. So I had one day a week as well where I didn't touch my school books so that I can relax my mind. And that was wow, I'm balancing my life. And I think it wasn't as bad. So sometimes it was actually quite, I did some good things. I went to a park. I remember I started to paint again. It was actually quite nice. But I think I didn't, from my point of view now, from my point where I'm standing, I do not think I understood how it worked. So basically, I was just doing some things that I maybe saw somewhere on social media, maybe that I kind of distinguished for myself that okay, this is healthy for me, and this is how I see healthiness and balance. And I was kind of I was just trying to fit it in the 24 hours, this and this and that. And then in a week, I also tried to fit some downtime. But it was all based on this kind of schedule. It kind of resembles with this challenge. So I think what I talked about is that after you finish the challenge, it is so hard to do things that you want to do and to really know what you want to do. And actually, I think that this challenge brought me to this point as well, because when I finished the challenge at the beginning of March, and then I started to do this phase 1 of the challenge, and then I stopped 2 weeks in. So basically this phase 1 goes 30 days, and it's just like 75 hard, it's only not 75 days but 30, plus you have a couple additional rules that just take up more of your time of the day. You need to do visualization, you need to take a cold shower, and you need to complete some more critical tasks that you set for yourself. It's all in one day, plus again 2 workouts and healthy eating and blah blah. And I started to do that, and then there was a day where Alyssa and I we tried to do 100,000 steps in a day, and I was yeah, I'll be fine. I'll just do I'll count that as one workout, and then I'll do stretching in the evening, and drinking water I need to do anyways when walking, and it'll be fine. I'll read in the evening. And then we got home, and my whole body was just aching. I was in my bed and I couldn't, I thought of getting up to just stretch for 45 minutes. I was reading as well, and on this day I also didn't have I only had one non-fiction book, because the other I just literally finished the day before. And that book, it had such a small printed words. It was just so tiny font, and it was so boring as well. And I started to read it and I was falling asleep. It was like 10:30. And then I also thought of getting up and stretching for 45 minutes, and I moved my leg and I couldn't. My leg was hurting like so badly, and I couldn't straighten my back because my back was somehow also aching. And I said, like, no, I'm not doing it. I'm just gonna stop the phase. And Alyssa was like, no, like, do it. You're gonna regret it. Like, you're gonna regret it later. Come on, get up, like, do it. And that was very sweet, because I know, like, you know, I could have regretted it. But the thing is about, like, phase 1, I could have still done it later without kind of losing the 75 hard, because you're meant to do it all in 1 year. There was just a quick rundown. There was 2 more phases. It doesn't really matter. Anyhow, I was just like, no, you know what? I'm not gonna regret it. I can still do phase 1 in like May or something. It'll be okay. I just really can't do it now. And I'll only lose 2 weeks of this phase. And I think that was the start, maybe, of a little bit me learning how to do stuff that I want to do. But not quite. That was little, like, the first push. But I think after Easter break, maybe because also I had more time, like, for myself, it really pushed me to do, not really pushed me, I just kind of slid into it, into really listening to myself and doing what I feel like doing. And that's so new to me. So this new balance is really not to push yourself to the limits all the time, but also about not, like, completely just not doing anything. It's really about, like, listening to myself and deciding what I need now. So it's not about doing something that will make me happy for, like, this second, but sometimes it is. It's just, I guess the key point, I can't really describe it or, like, define it, like, what it is, what it means doing, like, you know. So sometimes it might be eating an ice cream and it will make me happy in this particular moment, and sometimes it is just pausing and being on social media for a while, just being on my phone for a while. Sometimes it is going outside, sometimes it is staying inside. I remember, actually, I think one of the first times when I noticed it happening, like this, you know, thinking process and decision, and then actually being satisfied with my decision, was on the day of the London Marathon. It was really, really hot, and my friend and I, we went out with those, like, cardboard signs to encourage the runners, and we stood there, and that was actually really fun. And on that day I also really wanted to sit outside and read, because I also haven't read in a while, and I wanted to just go outside, sit on a bench, read my book. But then when we got back from, like, watching the runners and, you know, standing there with the signs, I just felt so tired and so, you know, exhausted from all the heat. And I kind of felt this urge to, not urge, but, like, this push outside, like, oh, I need to go outside because I wanted to go outside because it's nice weather. It's not everyday nice weather. And also I've got a free day, you know, like, no school, weekend. I need to get outside, enjoy the weather. But I was really not feeling it. I was like, no, I'm so tired and I just want to lie down and not do anything, and it's just so hot and I can't be bothered to really sweat outside anymore. And in my head I was like, yeah, I need to get out and I need to enjoy the weather. But I couldn't enjoy it. And it was just, I think it was just such a common occurrence to me to really, like, I have to enjoy it, you know? But basically what I did was I just stayed inside for a bit. I was just, like, really torn between the two things, like, what should I do? And because I didn't know what to do, I just sat in my bed and I was on my phone and Pinterest. And so I just scrolled through Pinterest, like, I think maybe for, like, half an hour. And then I just had this thought, like, okay, that's completely fine. Like, I don't have to get outside now. I don't remember what I did. I think maybe I cooked or something. Maybe I even recorded a podcast, edited something, studied for a bit, or I don't even know. And then I thought, basically when I got off my phone, I'm very unstructured today, I was like, okay, I do want to go outside and I do want to read, but I'm gonna just do it later. I'm gonna do it in the evening when it's not that hot and when I will actually enjoy the evening weather and the evening like London. Funnily enough, it was actually the same day. I've just checked on my phone. It was the same day where I met the guy who I talked to about the rollerblades. So it is actually exactly that time. Like I said in the beginning, just funny how it was actually the day. And you know what? If I'd gone out earlier that day, I wouldn't have met him and I wouldn't have gotten the rollerblades the next day. That's when I noticed, okay, I don't have to like push myself to like do the most thing possible, and I can just do it later and then it'll actually make me happier. Also, around that time, so that was end of April, or lately, I've been noticing I used to always wake up, and if I go to the gym that day, I go straight after waking up because I don't want to like leave it for later, and I just want to like have it done and over with, and also to feel, you know, like I've done something on that day already, and also just get it out of the way, and then get home, eat, and this is like good timing as well, you know. It just fits nicely into my morning routine. And then one day I woke up and I was like, nah, I really don't want to go to the gym. I really can't be arsed and I don't feel like doing it. Like I was lazy in the moment, but also it just didn't feel right. It was like, it felt like I'm pushing myself, and I know I need to push myself to like go to the gym and like to work out, and you know, because it's not always easy. And then I thought to myself, I could actually go after school. And this thought, like, I don't know, it felt like, oh yeah, that's okay. It didn't feel disturbing. It didn't feel like, you know, when you imagine yourself doing something. So I imagined like getting out of my bed now and going to the gym, like getting dressed and going there and doing like some exercises. I was like, oh no, that doesn't feel right. That doesn't feel good. Ew. No, I really don't want to do it. I just want to cuddle with my pillow. Like that's all I want to do. I don't want to get out of this bed, no. But then this picture of me going to the gym, still exercising, but just after school, not now, and now just getting up and having a slow morning, it felt right. And I was like, oh, okay. And I think this is what I've never done before. So even like this year, like half a year ago, 3 months ago, I didn't know what it was. Like this feeling of just pausing and listening to how different things feel. Like imagining yourself doing something. Because honestly, if I needed to go to the gym, like I need to go to the gym because today's not my rest day, I need to go in the morning. I never even thought about going in the evening because I've always done it in the morning, right? I mean, in like 75 Hard, it was always one workout was in the morning and one after school. That was how it was. Unless obviously I'm going away somewhere and then it's like a completely different timetable. But if I'm in my normal routine, it will be how it always is. I never given it a second thought that I can like rearrange it somehow, you know? Even like if I rearranged it, it was due to some other circumstances because, oh yeah, like, you know, I'm doing something else in the evening or whatever. And now I actually like negotiate my days according to obviously my plans, like what I need to do, like what I need to complete during the day or during the week or whatever. And then also according to my inner state. And I kind of ask myself every time, like, okay, what do I want to do? And what do I need to do? And I weigh it up, but not in my head and in terms of like, oh yeah, this is going to like burn this many calories, or this is going to give me this many points towards my balance, or I don't know what. But in terms of just like how it feels. And I think this is also very linked to this feeling of finishing school, and I feel like my life is starting now. So I feel like, okay, so I don't need to, because Right. It is really very unstructured today. Even I'm noticing it. Basically, when you're in school, I feel like you always have deadlines. Maybe in uni as well. So you have a deadline of like a project, you have a deadline for exam coming up, or like a, I don't know what, whatever test, and you need to study for it. And I feel like I've also lived, also in other areas, in kind of this mindset, like I need to have this amount of money until that time. Like I need to save up until this time because I need this much. Or I need to have like this body until this trip. Or I need to clear my skin until this like point in time because this is like, I don't know, prom and I want to look good, right? So it was always time stamped until when I had time to do it. Like everything was, studying and all other areas. And now I feel like it can take me 20 years to come to my like dream physique, because it's not like nothing's going to change in 20 years. Obviously it is, but nothing is like, no one's going to test me on it. In general, I feel like my life feels now, finally, like I'm not going to be tested on anything. I can do whatever I want, and it can take me as long as it takes me, as I want it to take me. I can, if I want, like, I don't know, fucking know, enter a competition, and then I'll have a deadline to lose weight, to gain weight, whatever. I can not do it, and then I won't have a deadline. It's all completely up to me, and I can fully influence it. I don't feel like in my life right now there is a single thing that I would say, yeah, I can't do anything about it. It is how it is. Or if there is a thing, then I'm, I don't know, happy about it. Like, I try to be. I don't know. I guess I'm not happy about, everything. I'm still on this way and on the journey to, I don't know, accepting my body completely. Like, some things that I can't change. But in my, like, life, outside of me, outside of like my body, I can do whatever I want. I can't change people, but I can change people. Like if I don't like some people, I don't need to make them change. I can just not talk to them. And that's just so insane. I can, if I want to, I can work in a low pay job. I can work in a high pay job. Well, yeah, I guess probably then I'd need to go to university, but I can decide to go to university and get a degree. So it's really up to me, and I can do everything. And this is like one point as well, like this has not really got much with balance. I mean, yeah, I guess it somehow has something to do with balance because I somehow came to it. But about the balance, I also feel more in the moment, because when you always negotiate with yourself, what do I want to do? What is gonna do me good? Sometimes I actually pause and I decide, okay, I actually don't want a sweet treat now, or I want like a healthy dinner and I don't want to take out. And sometimes I'm like, no, I really can't be asked to cook and I want a takeout. I want a falafel. Let's say the day before yesterday, it was just also one of those moments where I noticed myself doing this, like talk to myself, kind of, where I really paused and I was really thinking, what will make me feel good? Because it was after maths exam. Maths exam was really bad. I got a headache, and after that I talked to a friend for like, we stood there I think for 2 hours outside of our apartment building, and we talked, and I actually went outside to get a coffee and a falafel and to eat it, like to sit outside and to get rid of my headache. And I met him and we talked for like so long, and then I was like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna go eat now. And I was like, do I actually want a falafel? Because like I have also so much food at home, because obviously I'm leaving soon, so I need to kind of eat whatever I have at home because I don't want to throw it away. And then, I don't know, I think also a couple months ago would be like, oh yeah, shit, like he's sending that and I need to make a decision quickly, because we are kind of in this middle thing, like, are we going in again together? Are we not? Like, are we going different ways? This kind of stuff, like, oh, it's awkward. And I was just like, wait a second, I'm thinking. And I really thought to myself, and I was like, okay, I decided I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna change, and I'm gonna get a falafel. And when I was inside, I was like, should I maybe eat at home? Like, I thought about it once again. And then but I also wanted to go outside, right? Because I wanted to sit outside actually and to get fresh air. And in the end, I ended up just going outside, getting a falafel. So whilst I walked there and to my favorite place where I always sit, I had this little walk to like free my head. And also I had to study, right, for my exam yesterday. So those different things, and it's like you need to balance them, but also important thing, you also cannot forget your well-being, like your feeling that you'll get out of this whole thing, because I feel like that was one element that I forgot to balance before. I would always balance studying, like if healthy eating or whatever, on like fresh air, but then after this I would forget to include this element of how am I going to feel after this, because it doesn't matter, because it didn't matter how I feel now, as long as, because what is it, if I'm thinking about living in the moment, I'm like, I have this immediate gratification value, and it's not gonna like make me successful and whatnot. Okay, what is the point of being unhappy all the time, right? Because I guess last year I counted calories, I wasn't happy eating it. I mean, yeah, okay, sometimes it was nice, but in general, I don't have a feeling like, oh yeah, I ate so nice foods. I was just doing it because I was eating whatever was healthy, or I don't think it was even healthy, it was just like low calories and like a lot of protein. And like, okay, I guess I lost weight, but it turns out losing weight is so not permanent. And it's not like, okay, I'm gonna suffer for 3 months now, but then I'm gonna have lost weight and then I'm gonna be happy for the rest of my life, so like it's worth it. No, it's not. Honestly, it's not. Unless you have like a competition and this like, because no one cares. Like I didn't even get like what credit or something, because obviously from me I wouldn't get a credit. I mean, yeah, a little bit in the process, I guess, when you see your abs defining more. But in general, because you would always be unhappy with it. Like if you are unhappy with your body and you start losing weight, you're not going to be completely happy with it when you do lose weight. It's not about that. It's not about how you look, really. A little bit is influenced, yes, but you're not going to feel completely happy unless you are also like healthy and like mentally healthy inside. I think that's what I learned from last year's experience. And again, it's not permanent. So you're going to suffer 3 months. You're going to be happy a couple times when you see yourself in the mirror. And then you're probably going to gain weight again, just because you need to maintain it. Like you can keep the weight off, but you need to maintain, like you need to really focus on it. Keep focusing on it. And that's what I think a lot of people don't realize, and I didn't realize. And I did it with so many things. I studied so much, like I didn't see, let's say, my friends, or I focused on this challenge and not saw like people who I wanted to see. For what? I really, like, I'm glad, again, I'm not, like, don't regret it, because I learned a lot from it. But now I just see how important it is to, I don't know, you don't have to always live in the moment and be like, oh yeah, you know what, I want something sweet. Oh, you know what, I want something like, something else to eat, or want to like, I don't like that all my fucking examples go to gym and eating. I don't know, maybe because it's just the most like straightforward things, I guess. Maybe it's just what's in my head. But it's just something that makes you happy in the moment, or like social media, right? I'm not gonna go outside, I'm gonna stay inside and like be on my phone because I can't be asked to get dressed and get outside. This is like living in complete moment. Or you can work towards a goal. And I think the point of life, meaning of life, maybe, I don't know, my life right now, is to find this point on which I want to focus. So on which I need to focus. So I'm not working towards a goal anymore. I'm not working towards exams or towards a limited time frame when I need to look like as lean and as good as possible. Or I don't have a time frame where I need to be the best and the smartest version of myself and like have read all the books possible and developed like mentally fully, you know, and emotionally, and be on the best level possible. I don't have it anymore. I don't have a time frame where I need to be the richest. I can, you know, accumulate some money now. I can save up and then I can spend it on something, on traveling, on whatever I want, and I'll be broke again, and then I'll get some more money. like, this is just the process, and I feel like I now start to realize it and live with this mindset of this is my life. My life is not in a month, in 2 years, in 3 years, in, I don't know, 20 years. It's now. And yesterday I went out with a friend and we just walked and we went to get some sushi and we sat down in a park, and we still each have an exam left next week. But I just felt so free because it was wonderful weather. I was wearing something that made me really comfortable in, like, just, sensation sense. So it was very, like, floaty, and sometimes I looked at myself in, reflections of windows, and I didn't even recognize myself because I looked so different from what I used to wear, or like from what I usually wear. But I just felt so, I don't know, free. And I was like, oh wow, this is the life. This is the point of life. And then we just sat there and we talked and we laughed and we ate sushi. I didn't count calories, how many it was. I just enjoyed it. And then when we walked home, we were like, oh yeah, like, do you want to go inside already, or do you want to, like, still, go walk around? Because it was also still nice weather and it was still light out, and it was like 7, I want to say. And we were both like, yeah, no, I don't mind walking. And it was on the way home, and then somehow we just kind of like walked home because it was still in the same direction, so we kind of walked to our accommodation at this time, because we basically said, like, yeah, we want to go for a walk still. But then we both were so tired, and we were like, oh yeah, we're home now, so let's just go in. And that was just so nice, because also I think before I would have thought to myself, like, oh yeah, but like we said we want to go for a walk, and I said to her, like, I want to, like, yeah, let's still walk for a bit, but like, how, like, are we going in now? Like, but we talked, we wanted to go for a walk, and I thought that to myself, and I wouldn't, like, understand it, and I would have this, like, conflict. But I was like, yeah, I mean, 10 minutes ago I wasn't tired, but now my eyes are shutting and I want to go inside. And I went inside and I watched some show, and it was just so nice. And that is just so interesting to me, and I really love noticing these moments where I feel really this balance inside me of doing what makes me happy in the moment, in kind of long term, because I think what this challenge gave me, and what all the years of, trying to eat healthy and maybe counting calories and all that stuff that was, back then, it wasn't very healthy. Like, it wasn't very balanced and whatever, but it made me, like, it helped me to, like, find new, like, some dishes that I like and that are healthy, because then it was like this extreme that I only eat that. But now I can choose. This choice, this power of choice, it feels so great to not having to eat healthy, but being able to. And often I do prefer some, like, homemade meal and some healthy and balanced meal. Usually I prefer that over, like, some takeout. But then sometimes, if my body and my mind, maybe I'm not even hungry, but I want an ice cream, and I just go outside and I just sit there and I eat the ice cream, or I just lie on this railing and I look at the sky and listen to a podcast, and I just feel so in the moment, so centered. Also, I'm going to finish the story about Thursday, so the day before yesterday. In the end, yeah, I got a falafel and I walked to the place where I love to sit, and I also took my studying notes with me. So by the time I came to my favorite spot, I also almost finished the falafel, and then I just sat there for a while and just, got rid of my headache and just relaxed. And then I just lied on this railing, and I needed to read through my notes for sociology, and then I just read through it, and also I talked, like, out loud, because when I read it out loud, then it stays in my head better. But I was outside, so I guess a couple of months ago I wouldn't have done it, but then I was just like, oh yeah, I mean, why not? I don't know. I think what also came to me lately is, like, caring less about what people would say. Not completely, like, I'm still learning to do it, but it was just so nice. And I read through the notes that I had to read through, and I went home. And it just felt so amazing because I managed to be outside what I wanted. I managed to eat a falafel that I wanted, like walk around, just like move for a bit. I didn't have a headache afterwards, and also be productive and read something for my exam. And I was like, wow, this is life. This is what I can do now all the time. This is how I want to do it. It doesn't have to be all or nothing all the time. It doesn't have to be one day I sit in the library for 8 fucking hours and study, and the other day, oh yeah, but today I have a day off, like I have a rest day, I don't go to the gym, and I also don't touch my notes, and I eat Ben & Jerry's all day and a pizza. It doesn't have to be. It can be balanced. Oh God, I hate this word balance now, because now I also realize how much like a misunderstanding and how much misconceptions it can be about it. And when people online say, there's like 80-20 rule as well, oh God, I don't think you can put balance in any numerical values really. So when you try to do the 80-20 to like follow someone, so you see someone doing the 80-20 balance, like 80 basically like healthy lifestyle and 20 is your maybe some unhealthy food and just relaxing and whatnot, and you try to follow it, it's not going to work. But I think when you've learned to balance it based on your like inner state and your wishes and your obviously knowledge about health and whatever, then you can put it and you'd be like, yeah, I guess I am doing about 80-20, but you can't follow it. So really what you need to do, I guess it might be like a little guide to help you, but I think this is what I used to do, and I used to put everything what I did, like a numerical value on it, be it grades or be it something with health, which is like considered health, obviously, because sometimes it can turn into really like unhealthy thing if you try to be really healthy. And I think now I'm really seeing how there is no such thing. You can't calculate balance and you can't calculate health and like healthy lifestyle. There's just no way. It's just all about like listening to you inside you. But I also think it is impossible to really teach it. I think I needed to go through all those phases of like being very strict to myself and controlling everything very strictly to now really come to this state of balancing it, because there was also phases where I only focused on what I felt and I really prioritized my mental well-being. It was quite a short phase, but there was a phase and I wasn't doing much in terms of like healthy stuff, let's say. So it was really like self-centered and just only prioritizing what I felt, which also wasn't good because, well, yeah, that's a different topic. But I'm just so glad and it makes me so happy. Yesterday I was just in bed also already falling asleep, and I opened my eyes and I was like, wow, life is good. And I just started laughing. I felt like psycho for a second, but yeah, it was so new to me to really feel like, wow, I feel like happy and I feel good and I feel like this is sustainable for me, because I don't think that things that I've done before were really sustainable. It was just like me, again, chasing a deadline, and now I don't feel like it. I feel like I have a whole life in front of me and I can do whatever I want with it. But also I feel like I know what I want to do with it, and I feel like I know how to do it. I don't know maybe my exact goals and my exact like, yeah, I'm gonna do this and this and I'm gonna have this much money and whatever, but I know kind of the strategy and I know what to look out for and what to like listen to inside me for it to like feel good, and that really gives me a lot of hope for a good life. And I think, I don't know, it just makes me happy, guys. I don't know, that's it. Thank you very much for listening. I really hope that, I don't know, maybe someone can take something out of it, maybe not, because it was just really my experience and I just really wanted to share it in my realization, because this is like very new to me and I just love how it's evolving and to watch it change, like watch myself change, whatever. It's getting very general. So thank you very much for listening, and I hear you hear me next week. Bye bye.